She's alive! Hey there, strangers! RoamTownGirl here. And I know it's been a few months, but I'm back. And I'm getting back on track. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me, and for all of you who reached out and checked in on me and wanted to make sure I was still alive and well. So let's rewind the clock back to November. I had made my annual pilgrimage back to Pahrump, Nevada, which is where I do have my residency, do the doctors and the vet and all that stuff. And while I was there, I shot a lot of footage of my favorite places in and around Las Vegas to share with you. And I also shot a bunch of really cool Christmas stuff. Well, the next thing I know, I needed to go to California to be with my mom, who had just been diagnosed with cancer. And I thought I was going home to spend a few months with her while she started and went through chemo. And I wasn't home but 2 weeks, and my mother passed away on Christmas Day. And so then that led into all that comes with that, preparing the funeral and closing my mom's estate. And I didn't want to abandon my stepdad Joel and my brother Jay. So I stayed around for a few months, and I basically got back on the road in February. So I missed the RTR this year. I was disappointed about that. And any of you who might have been there, I really would have liked to have got to say hi in person. But got back into the Arizona area in February. The plan was to connect with a bunch of friends, because you know everybody comes to the Quartzsite area in January, February. And then I was going to return to New Mexico so I could finish doing the southern part of the state and those state parks and some really fun attractions, because last year I missed them because it got too hot. Anyway, I had myself poised. I was in the town of Benson, Arizona, which is an absolutely adorable town if you have an opportunity to go there. It's a very good jumping off point to cross over into New Mexico and kind of start in the Deming area of New Mexico and City of Rocks. I know some of you that have been watching me this whole time, you've seen those parks. New Mexico is notorious for high winds and rainstorms, and so I was sitting there in Benson and I was watching the weather really carefully, and I was just looking for an opening where I had a couple days of no rain and no high winds. It was early in the week, and Sunday was go time. So I was really excited to go back to New Mexico, pick up where we left off, and Sunday was the day. And then on Thursday, my phone starts blowing up because everybody starts posting how the New Mexico state parks closed. And so that kind of derailed that. And then I had to decide, okay, so what am I gonna do? So I'm in Benson, Arizona, and I figured, okay, I'll stay here for a little bit, and I have the Trails collection, which is an add-on to my 1,000 Trails regular membership, and I purchased it this year because I was going to be in the Arizona area, and there's a lot of those parks in Arizona, so I thought I would get my money's worth. So I'm in a Trails collection park in Benson, which has a 2-week limitation on it, which is fine because just down the street is an escapees park, and I'm an escapee. That sounds bad, doesn't it? I have the escapees membership, and so I'm able to stay at their parks, and I thought, great, I will just bounce between these two parks until I figure out, you know, what's happening. This was early on with the closures of the different camping grounds and state parks and national parks and all that stuff. Anyway, well, it's the day before I'm supposed to move over to the escapees park, and I just started having this nice conversation with another lady in the park, and she says, oh, are you here for a while? And I say, no, actually, I'm gonna be moving down to the escapees park tomorrow. And she said, oh, they're gonna let you in? And I said, yeah, I think so. I've been talking to them. And she's like, well, have you talked to them in the last few days? And I said, nope. Anyway, long story short, they were one of the first parks that I experienced that were staying open, but only to those that were already in the park. No new entries. Thank God I had a conversation with this lady, because you know me and my anxiety. Can you imagine if I would have rolled up and thought, okay, here I am. I'm here for 2 weeks or so. And they told me no. My God, I'm so glad I didn't have to deal with that. So I started having my freak out the day she's telling me this. So I've been doing all these projects on Scout, and I'll tell you more about that at another time. But I had befriended a handyman there in Benson, and he happened to work a lot in a private park that was right next door to where I was. So I am so blessed, because here I am. I'm having this conversation with this lady. I am starting to go into anxiety about where I'm gonna go and what's gonna happen. And the next thing I know, my new friend, my handyman, comes bursting through these bushes, which were kind of what was used to separate between the RV park, that private RV park, and where I was. And he says to me, when are you supposed to be moving over to the Escapees Park? And I said, tomorrow. And he said, you can't go, they're closed. And I said, I know, I just found that out. And he said, don't worry, I just talked to the owners of the park next door, and they also were following a similar protocol of whoever was already there could stay, but nobody new could come in. Anyway, he sweet talked them, and I moved over there and I got myself situated. And so at that point, at least, I had a place to call home. But being in southern Arizona and with summer approaching, I knew my days there were numbered, because you know me, I don't like when it's hot. So I sat and I thought to myself, I have my Thousand Trails membership, and there is a Thousand Trails park up in Cottonwood, and so I could have gone there. There are, like I said, a handful of Thousand Trails collection, the Trails collection parks, and though there's some up in the north. But they're a little bit different. I can only stay for 2 weeks. Well, my sense of anxiety and worry, I thought, I don't know what Thousand Trails is gonna do. Like, what if I go into one of the parks and then they kick us all out, or, you know, I don't know. And I don't mind boondocking, but I only boondock when I'm with people I know, and there's no one I know. And okay, so this is how I roll. I was already paying attention to the things about the, let's call it the cocoa bug. So I already saw what was happening with the cocoa bug, and I thought to myself, I don't know how long this is going to be going on for. So let's say I have to be somewhere through the summer. Where do I want to be? Well, I wanted to stay in the Arizona area. I don't know why. I guess it felt familiar, and still close to Nevada and still close to New Mexico if things changed. I know I need to be in the cooler temperatures. So I was looking for who's got cooler temperatures. If I'm gonna go somewhere and die, I want to be with trees. So who's got trees? Thinking a bit from a self-sufficiency standpoint, if I needed a big body of water, if something goes on with water, where, you know, I would like a big body of water to be nearby. It's always convenient to have a Walmart or a nice supermarket nearby. And then again, given the circumstances, I wanted to make sure that there was a hospital or a clinic or something like that, God forbid, in case I needed that to go there. I wanted to be able to access that. So I did my research, and I found a sweet, cute, adorable little town up in northern Arizona, and I decided to go the route of a private park, because given the things I just mentioned about not trusting what Thousand Trails corporate might decide to do, I felt that a private park could pretty much make their own call, and I stood the best chance of, you know, if I got there, I could stay there. So I looked for something affordable, and that's what I did. I'm in the trees in the forest. Me and the dogs, we're doing well. So we're here, we're happy. if we're stuck here for a few months, there are definitely worse places to be stuck. And we'll see what happens. Now, the good news, I hope you think it's good news, is although I kind of fell off the wagon and I stopped editing and posting, I never stopped shooting footage. So I guess what you can look forward to over the next few months is I have a couple how-to videos. I think I have a couple sort of sightseeing, traveling stuff that I did before I got here. But mostly I just have weird things that I came across or projects that I've done. And with everything going on, my goal is to at least entertain you for a couple minutes every couple days. Let me know if I do a good job of distracting you, making you roll your eyes, giving you a chuckle. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. And to my core of loyal subscribers, thank you so much for hanging in there with me. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad that you're still here. And to my new subscribers, thank you. Welcome. I hope that you too will turn into a long-time watcher, and I hope that I do a good job of just giving you something to smile about or laugh about or roll your eyes about. Okay, I gotta go work on my Mother's Day video. I'm gonna put together sort of a little tribute to my mom, as well as for those of you that might be interested to know a little bit more about what that was all about. And although it might seem a little unconventional, I'm gonna share about how my mother handled her dying, which was very conscious and very beautiful. She chose to go on to hospice, and we had this amazing opportunity to tie up all these loose ends. Anyway, it's really cool and unusual, and I really want to share it with you. Kind of weird that I'm talking about my mom passing and we've got a ambulance siren going in the background. Things that make you go, Oh, you want to hear my dogs try to howl? You can try to howl? They don't know how to howl.